Like before we moved in, I was like,
I wasn't thinking about it until I saw you.
it was an inappropriate conversation. I don't want to get canceled.
I feel like we can say it.
No. When I am jealous,
it's gonna be awkward. I was watching a lot of Michael Todd.
Touchdown sound.
Ah.
Oh, ow, ooh, ooh. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? It's yours truly, Jazmine.
And yours truly, Lauren.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I am an R&B music girly and an actress based here in LA. On my page, you're going to find new music. Okay, get ready with me. And my life here in the entertainment industry in LA. Okay, follow the journey. And most likely you're going to see her. Today, we wanted to talk about something that we get asked pretty often.
Yes. Every time we go out.
Yeah, which is how to honestly make friends as an adult in the entertainment industry.
And I would say we have mastered that. Missed one of those.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Where it went. Anyway, we do that. Anyway, this is how we did it. Yes. Yes.
Before we start though, I feel like it's important to kind of like a quick recap on our friendship and how we became friends. I met Lauren in Atlanta about 10 years ago on the set of a Christian movie. I would see her later after the movie at auditions and we would just pass each other, and she was so kind, okay? Most people, especially at that time, in-person auditions were not kind. You didn't speak to each other. You actually held your resume really closely and you sat like this.
But I wasn't aware really until we became close of the competitive nature that was happening around me. Like I'd be like, oh, hey, I just got this audition. You should go in for it.
I was talking to them. They wasn't talking to me.
Right, I didn't even notice. I'm talking to the back of their head at this point. I'm not even aware. But it was such a reunion every time we saw each other. It was so great. And then literally one day on the most randomest day, she sends me a message and she's like,
we have been following each other via social media. The thing is about Lauren, you think you know her. She is so great at captivating her real life moments, which are genuine moments. When I text her, I was like, oh, because we're so close, I can text her and ask her, can I stay with her in California
for a month.
For a month.
Let's not skip on that part.
She was like, yeah, you can stay with me for like a week or two, maybe.
I had a roommate at the time. I'm like, what sense does it make to have somebody stay with me for like a month?
I didn't realize that was a big ask at that time because I never lived on my own. I was really taking a leap of faith. I was watching a lot of Michael Todd. I was watching a lot of crazy faith at that time. This was one of the steps in some sermon.
She came. Remember this like distinctly. Her texting me and be like, hey, I'm gonna be there in like 3 days, or like I'm gonna be there tomorrow or something like that. And I was like, oh right, I'm having somebody stay with me. I remember that feeling of like, oh, I gotta prepare for somebody.
My bad.
And then she came. First of all, she was never there for the first like 3 days.
I was coming to record. Just really needed a place to lay my head.
Usually people come and stay, and I've never really had people who were like a problem, but I feel their presence. She would like wake up every day and it was like she was never there. Like she like cleaned up after herself. She would like repack her luggage every day. And I was like,
are you here?
I was like, are you still in Cali? Like, but I started needing people to come with me places. Like I'd be like, hey, I'm going to this, you want to come? She started coming to red carpets with me. And her at red carpets, like Jazmine, is the best +1 of any +1 ever.
For me, it was so much fun because I'm in California. I'm at these red carpets, but also not so much being at events, but being at events with someone who is also equally fun and doesn't mind pulling you on the carpet with them, like sharing those moments. Like I was exposed and really confirmed every thought that I had in my head of what a friend should be like in full capacity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It was so great to have her there with me. And then I started realizing, dang, I don't want to go anywhere without you. And then at home, she was just funny. Like we started having conversations, and there was one conversation, and it was an inappropriate conversation. I don't want to get canceled. It's not racist or anything, but it's not racist. But we had one conversation that was so inappropriate, and I was like,
it was so dark.
It was so dark. It was so funny.
I feel like we can say it.
No. No. After that, the laughing was endless. My roommate fell in love with her. We were both like, you don't ever have to leave.
I was so inspired that I literally packed my car.
I was taking her to set with me.
I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is exactly what, yes, thanks God. I'm gonna go get my car, I'll be right back. And then drove across country. In short, that is how that went.
It's literally how that went. Now, how did we sustain it, and how did we end up here?
Yes, let's talk about it.
One thing that I think really helped us from the jump was not ever having passive aggressive or like hitting below the belt conversations. I never felt like she was telling me something, but she was trying to say something else.
Yeah,
like,
even in our dark
petty.
humor.
Like, yeah, there was no passive aggressiveness,
Yes.
so I could trust her. I could trust everything she said. I could trust who she was.
Yes.
I think one thing that really helped was paying attention to each other.
Yeah, I was about
So
to say, being aware of each other and just being honest.
Yeah.
Like when something bothers you or something you might feel small about, and being honest about that thing with, you know, people around you. They can be sensitive towards it. They can speak life into it. Like,
yeah, I would say, like, there was never a moment I felt like I had to confront you about anything, because it was like I had already said it in passing about, like, I don't like this, I'm uncomfortable with this. So it was like, it was always like avoided, and I trying to really be the friend that she can receive from.
yeah.
You
But
know,
I think a
trying to
lot of
treat
that
her
has to
as she
do with
receives.
verbal, being honest about who you are, because a lot of people don't know.
Yes.
And
yes.
they're left to figure it out. And
I think what also helped, and this might be
we going hard.
Look, I'm like, look, I think what also really helped, and I know that this is something that both of us experience as a luxury, but we are both not moody. Like, I think we're both super cautious about working on ourselves and making sure that we're not ever on each other. We don't ever like dump on each other, but also we don't ever try to inconvenience one another with how we feel. So if I'm sad, I'm just gonna be sad, but I'm not gonna try to carry it and put it on her.
Yeah, but
and
that
make her
doesn't
feel
mean
it.
she can't talk to me about it.
Yes, it's just that I'm sad. Like when she's down, I don't feel like it's not heavy. It just feels like she's down, and I want to be there for her.
Yeah.
And I know I can emotionally be there to support her, because for one, she won't throw it on me, and she leaves me space to actually be her friend and not her therapist. You know.
Well, if you wanted to say a word for the saints. Oh. I think big key for what makes our friendship and will continue to make our friendship blossom, I would say being aligned with God and and trusting what God has for you. We absolutely adore Jesus. So knowing that, it helps me not be all those things that people battle with, like jealousy and talking behind someone's back and stuff. You'll have so much grace for your friends and for strangers and for yourself, because you know what you have to do. You know when the light's on you, how that feels. So moving forward in your journey and trusting what God has for you is 100%. I know I have to be closer to God to be in a relationship like this, because I will be unbalanced. I don't know if
That made so much sense that it left me quiet. And also, I hear her prayers, so I know what to pray for her.
Yeah, we do pray together. And like,
I know what to like write down when I'm writing down my prayers of like her dreams and prayers and manifestations. Like I hear those, so I can like go to battle for her. And I think that's what helps us too. It's like, it's not just a connection, it's like we're operating on a spiritual one as well.
Yeah.
I know that if I'm not operating at my best self, I'm not going to be able to be her equal.
It's going to be awkward.
Real
If you don't
friendship.
do the things you said you wanted to do to be great, it will be an uncomfortable space, because I'm not going to be here to bash you, but I might, remind you.
It holds me accountable even seeing just the woman she is, the kind of girlfriend that she is, just all of that. It inspires me to like operate like that in my own life. Like, how can I not be operating like that when I have a friend who's like an example of what I should be? It's like, oh, well, let me do better in my own life.
And vice versa in business. When I see her, fight for her worth and just have these, what I would consider tough conversations, I'm like, oh yeah. No, I won't do that for free. I won't, because that's wrong.
Yeah, like we'll help each other out, because like I'm horrible in some areas of communication, man, and she could be better, standing up for herself business wise and saying like, no, I actually won't. I know I've gotten so much better. With
Man,
from where
we're
I started,
we're killing it.
to where I am now, and where she started to where she is now, with like negotiating for herself and all of that. Like, we really just be helping each other out. Jealousy is such a big one. When I am jealous, I just tell her.
I was about to say, being out loud about like, oh, you have that, and now I would like it. I would like my version of it, but I want that too. And it takes the envious out of the friendship. Like, I wasn't thinking about it until I saw you.
Oh my gosh, no facts. I'll be like, dang, your hair looks great. I want that.
And
I'm mad that you have it on and I don't.
And I'll be like, dang, you look really good. Where'd you get that makeup? I want it in my color, but I want it.
It makes it so that you want each other to shine. Like there's not that
Yes.
like you know when you're posting a picture and your friend might not look great and you're like, okay, cool. It's fine.
I want you to look good.
It's like no. Now I'm so secure in my own self with you that I want us both to look good. Like there's times where people are commenting and people will only say like she's pretty, or people only say that I'm pretty, or they'll like single it out.
Yeah.
And I'll be writing the comments too, like, ain't she bad? Ain't she? Yep. I noticed too. And I don't know. I'm so secure now in this friendship and in myself.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. You have to be secure in yourself.
And also be outspoken when you're figuring it out, though.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is going to just be secure. And
No.
it's okay to be like, I'm figuring this out.
You know what I love too is that we just know where each other is when we are not in the mood for it. Like I know no matter what it is, if Jazmine hasn't eaten and her blood sugar is low,
Listen.
the personality that comes out.
Does it come out or does it come in? You know, like, does it hibernate?
You know what's so crazy? It comes out. And everybody around, you getting it. Till this girl eats. She won't be outwardly mean. It'll just be like, she's short. That's not like her. So it'll be like, oh, can you pass me this? It'll be like, thank you, Jazmine, so much. But I know that, and it does, so I don't ever take it personal. I don't ever feel like it's about me.
But also, I try to not set it up for people. Typically, I'll cook, and I'll prepare.
She's very progressive.
Yes.
Proactive, sorry.
Yeah.
Proactive about that.
So that those moments won't happen. You know,
Yes.
I won't be in a compromising position to now compromise the energy of the room. We're still working through that.
Look, that's
Me
okay.
having snacks, that is, not my attitude. Like,
once you tell somebody, like, you struggle with this, they can give you grace. Like, before we moved in, I was like, I'm messy. And I feel like it'd be a lot worse if she just discovered that. I feel like that'd actually be horrible if she discovered that. Like, I let her know.
we talked through it.
We 100% talked through it. But I was so nervous about it, and I didn't want it to, like, end our friendship, that I was like, I don't know if I'm worthy to live with y'all. Because you guys are so, like, put together, and I'm like, I'm so not. At the time I thought, I don't think I'm worthy to live with you guys, you know. And that was like dumb. I look back, I'm like
Dumb.
They were like, you're worth more than how clean you are. And I was like, I just couldn't take
worked
that.
through so much.
So anything I said I wanted to work on, we worked on in this house. And I would tell Jazmine I was so jealous. Like, Jazmine is built really great. Her body naturally is just a great build. Mine takes work. You know what I'm saying? Mine will look good. Like, I have a great body. But Jazmine is...
she does. Don't let her cap. Don't let her cap.
I do have a great body. Yeah, I'm cute with them. You know? but Jazmine is like this. And then when she's small, she's like this. When she gains weight, she's like this. No matter what happens, her shape is immaculate. It's in her genetics. Like, her sister,
it definitely is.
Like,
but
they
you know
just...
what else is in Lauren's genetics? One chin. You know what's in mine? Multiple chins. You might have a few down there. Have we been to get filler? Yes.
We're so honest about it. Like, I'll tell her, like, I want you to know, when you're going to the gym, I'm hating. Because I'm not going to work as hard as you are.
I just want you to know when you're posing from the side and I have to stay forward, I'm mad.
I hate you, actually. But it's just so much easier to just not be a hater and just, like, be honest.
Yeah.
So I would say the best way, like, work on yourself. If you want to have I was going to say it earlier, the Bible says the most important rule is to love, to love God and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I don't remember which one was first. I think love your neighbor, love God. Yeah, definitely love God. Yeah, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And that is so true, because you have to love yourself first to love your neighbor, and you have to love God to love yourself.
It's a cycle.
I see the effects of that in this friendship, of loving myself. And loving myself made more room for me to healthfully love her in the way that she receives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like we chitty. That was
great.
That was good. Do you guys have anything that we didn't talk about that you was like, oh girl, you should do this? We'll do a part 2.
Subscribe then. I'm gonna be here more often if you're about it.
She said if you request me.
If you comment, if this gets 5,000 comments, I'll be back.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Okay. And what
Press record.
I am. Idiot.